All of my life 찾아 헤매던 그곳은 갈등 말 듯한 흐린 신기루 꿈속의 dreamer 두려움과 환희의 바다.
So starting with your base color, I'm going to be using pink. I'm going to make a slip knot. And we're going to be using our 4.5 millimeter hook for most of the project. The other one will just be to single crochet them together. And we're going to start with a chain of 15. So once you have your 15 chains, we're going to start to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So we're going to go into that second chain and just make a single crochet. So to single crochet, you just yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. And we're going to continue to make 1 single crochet in each of the chains. So you should be left with 14 single crochet stitches. So here I have my 14 single crochet. For row 2, we're going to turn our work. We are not going to chain 1 at the ends. We're just going to go directly into that first stitch and start to single crochet. So make 1 single crochet into there. We're not chaining 1 at the ends because we want our edges to be really straight. So after you made your first single crochet, you can continue to make 1 single crochet in each of your stitches. So I've just completed row 2. You should still have 14 single crochet stitches. For the back panel, we're going to repeat this for 22 rows in total. So here's my back panel done. For the front panel, we're going to repeat what we did here for the back panel, but we're going to stop after row 3. So I'll come meet you after you're done with row 3 and I'll show you what to do next. So for my front panel, I made 3 rows of 14 single crochet, the same way that we did for the back panel. Now we're going to get started on the side. We're going to do this side first. So turn your work and start with 3 single crochet. So 1 in each stitch, 1. Next stitch 2. And your 3rd single crochet in your 3rd stitch. You have 3 single crochet. Just turn your work and continue to make 1 single crochet in each stitch. Just those 3 single crochet stitches. We're going to repeat that until we have 18 rows in total, including these first 3 that we did here. Once you reach the end of row 18, you can snip your yarn and I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I am at the end of row 18 for my first side. I'm just going to chain 1 and snip my yarn. So that's our first side done. Now we're going to reattach our yarn. Make sure you stay on this side. We're going to reattach our yarn. I'm going to put mine in the 4th stitch over here. And I'm just going to tie a knot. So I'm going to pull my yarn through. And just make 1 knot. That's how I like to attach my yarn. I'm going to push my hook back through that stitch. I just pulled the yarn through and then I'm going to chain 1 to start my row. Now for the next side, I'm going to go into the next stitch and start to make those 3 single crochet stitches. So just pushing my hook through the next stitch. I'm also going to be weaving in this end as I go. So I'm just going to be pinching this tail behind my stitches. And when I push my hook through the next stitch, I just make sure I'm pinching it behind like this, and then I just complete my single crochet over it. And then I repeat that the same way. Okay. And then I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to do that again, starting with that first single crochet and then bringing my tail over so I can single crochet over it. And when you're making these single crochet stitches, just make sure that your tension is not too tight, or else you won't be able to get into your stitches. And I like to weave that in for about 3 rows, and then I just snip it off. And then I'm going to continue until I've reached the end of row 18, just like the other side. Alright, so I've just completed row 18 on this side. For row 19, we're going to start to connect our 2 sides together. So I'm going to put it back on my hook. I'm just going to turn my work. Make sure your sides are facing the same way. So I'm going to start with my 3 single crochet stitches. Once you've done those 3 stitches, just chain 8. Once you have those 8 chains, grab your other side. We're going to go into this first stitch here, or the last stitch that you did on that side. And I'm going to move this tail out of the way so you can see. I'm just going to continue with my 3 single crochet. And that's it for row 19. Now we're going to turn our work. Moving on to round 20, start with your 3 single crochet. And now we're going to make 1 single crochet in each of the chains. So you're going to have 8 single crochet in the chain spaces. And then you complete with 3 single crochet on the other side. So starting with my first chain space right there, I'm just going to push my hook through. And I also recommend weaving in that other yarn tail as you go. So I'm going to make sure it's on the top of my hook and just pinch it behind my stitches. So I'm holding on to it with my chain, and I'm just going to complete my single crochet stitch. And I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to go in the next chain space, pinch that yarn tail behind, and make my single crochet stitch. And just continue making 1 single crochet in each of the chains. And once you've done that, you can just complete this row with your 3 single crochet on the other side. I'm just going to snip off the yarn tail that I weaved in. And now you can see both sides are connected. So just make sure you have 14 single crochet. And then for the next row, we're just going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch. Alright, so we've just completed row 21. We're just going to make 1 more row. So go ahead and turn your work. And I'm going to have my loop in the middle here. So I'm going to start with 7 single crochet. So make 1 single crochet in the next 7 stitches. And I'm going to chain 12. And now I'm going to make a slip stitch in the very first chain. So I'm going to push my hook through there, yarn over, pull through so that I have 2 loops on my hook, and I'm just going to pull the first loop through the second loop. And that's my slip stitch. And now I'm just going to go directly into the next stitch and continue with my last 7 single crochet. Alright, so I've completed that round. You should have this little loop right here in the center. At this point, I'm going to switch over to my 3.5 millimeter hook. If you are not changing colors and you want to do this in all one color, then you can just put your hook directly into this loop and start to single crochet them together with the same yarn. So you wouldn't need to cut the yarn. But since I'm using the white yarn for the border, I'm just going to chain 1 and snip my yarn here. So to attach my yarn, I'm going to take my 3.5 millimeter hook, and we're going to be starting from the top left corner. So I'm going to push my hook through that single crochet stitch in the top left. I'm going to do that to the back panel too. So I'm going to go to the top left and push my hook through that same single crochet stitch. And then this is where I'm going to pull my yarn through and attach it. So I just pulled my yarn through. I'm just going to make a knot. And now I'm going to push my hook through those 2 stitches again. So push it through the same space on the front and back panel. And now I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And then chain 1. And now we can start to single crochet all the way down the side. And I'm going to be weaving in these 2 ends as I go. So I'm going to make my first single crochet through that same space. So go through the same space where we just attached our yarn, and then make 1 single crochet. And now I'm going to go through the next space. Push your hook through here. And make sure you're going through the next space on both sides. And then I'm going to make my next single crochet. So we're going to repeat that all the way down the sides until that side is connected. Alright, so I've just single crocheted down the side. Now for the corner spaces, make sure you go through that chain space on both corners. For the corner spaces, you're going to start with 1 single crochet in both spaces. And then chain 1. And then you're going to make another single crochet in the same corner space. And that's just going to help us turn our single crochet stitches. And then you can continue to make 1 single crochet in each space going down the side. And then I'm going to repeat that for my next corner. Just continue to make those single crochet stitches until those 3 sides are connected. I'm almost done here. I'm going to make my very last single crochet through these last single crochet stitches. So going through the last single crochet on the front panel and doing the same on the back panel. I go through those single crochet stitches and then make my very last single crochet. And now that my sides are connected, I'm just going to chain 1 and snip my yarn. And that's how you connect your panels together. And now I'm just going to snip the ends that I weaved in while I was crocheting. Just make sure you pull gently on the tails and snip. And then you can stretch it back. And those tails should spring right back in. And then I'm just going to use a yarn needle to weave in these 2 stray ends at the end. And those are all the ends that I need to weave in. These are 3x4 top loaders. I like to use these to protect my photo cards. These top loaders fit perfectly into your little holder. If you guys like this tutorial, let me know in the comments. If you make this, tag me on Instagram so I can see. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So if I did in my dream today, I'm sure that we'll find someday. 흐릿한 전상을 쫓아가면 앱만 많은 시그를 감아 sketch map. 어두운 난